Okay, I said I wasn't gonna continue the video if the last clip cut short, but here I am again. So I guess I'm in Washington D.C. I guess I'll walk you to the buildings I had on my list to show you today. This again is a federal buildings video. I am showing you federal buildings in Washington D.C. The last clip, it was going to be just 2 clips, but because the last one cut short, it's now either going to be 1A, 1B, and 2, or 3 clips, 1, 2, and 3. Federal buildings 1, federal buildings 2, federal buildings 3. Okay, so we left off here. I said this is the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. We're in Washington, D.C. again. Check out the prior clip to see all of the amazing videos there, the FAA buildings, as well as the Department of Education, and in the prior video, NASA and the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Housing and Urban Development, as well as the General Services Administration. In this video, we will see that again. Let's start here, where we left off, and then I scoop over here. We just walked up underneath the bridge, saw a couple guys skateboarding. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a little secret in just a few. Okay, so we walked beneath the bridge and we came over here. So this building here at Potomac Center is the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Around the corner is the Mandarin Hotel I mentioned. It's a 5-star hotel. Also mentioned how my encounter with it had to do with me having to use their ATM. They have a Bank of America ATM that I knew would use take my card. So I went there. They have one in the lobby. And as I was leaving, the front desk informs me of the rate after I asked them. 400. They said the room started at 400. This is the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement here in Washington, D.C. So this is the building for that. Okay. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So yes, we are here in Washington, D.C. L'Enfant is to the right, and the Mandarin Oriental is to the left. I'm going to speed up for a second if you don't mind. So then there are all these benches here. Again, I said this again is the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. So yeah, we have to go downstairs for that. Okay, let's go. So since we're over here, why don't I just show you the Mandarin Oriental. This is Interesting. Here it is. Right there. Excuse me. Right there. So then you have all of these green benches here. This court. Here are park in the middle there. Maryland Avenue. That's where we're at. We are in the federal territory, or the federal district that does have each state of the United States, all 50 of them, an avenue for each except for Ohio. I think it's Ohio Drive and California Street. All of the other ones, Vermont Avenue, New Mexico Avenue, North Carolina Avenue, Virginia Avenue, and so on. South Carolina Avenue, Maryland Avenue, all 50, and Puerto Rico as well. So here's the little courtyard, this little section, this little DC. We'll get to that in a second. But straight ahead is the Mandarin Oriental. It's a 5-star hotel here in Washington, D.C. Again, I mentioned how to go there to use their ATM one night. And then he informed me, after I asked him, of the rates. I believe straight ahead you can see the top of the Jefferson Memorial. Thomas Jefferson Memorial there. Okay, so there's the Mandarin Hotel. Really nice lobby and nice color tones. And each, I don't know how old it is, but pretty much every building could be spruced up unless they just signed off on its completion. It hasn't been occupied yet, but it's just been signed off as occupiable after its brand new construction. Because that's the most freshest building. Even after you have that form, I may use the architectural term of dead weight, that brand new building, which is by architectural terms dead weight. I guess the live weight that might come in, such as furnishings and stuff, might even spruce it up even more brand new, or so maybe it's the freshest right after the live weight, newest live weight comes in. But anyways, it's nice. It's really nice. It's if I remember, it's like burgundy and burgundy floors or carpet to like cream and wood. I don't know if it's mahogany wood or conference rooms, and like marble or like cream stone, shiny, smooth cream stone, like front desk or whatever. There's a restaurant in there, all types, all of the 5-star amenities. So yeah, we're in Washington, D.C. Like, again, I mentioned, this is the only video where I really haven't shown myself. If you hear my voice, you know this is the voice. But for whatever reason, for a variety, I just decided not to really show myself like I did in the other, 1900 clips plus on my 10 channels. Just type in my name again. Devon, spelled D-A-V-O-N, D as in David, A as in Adam, V as in Victor, O as in onomatopoeia, and N as in Nevada. Middle name Chadwick, spelled C as in cat, H as in Henry, A as in Adam, D as in David, E as in Earth, W as in Winter, I as in it, C as in cat, and K as in Kiwi, Chadwick, white, like the color of snow, WHITE. Type in my full name on YouTube, filter it to channels to give you just channels and not just videos, and then you'll get the 10 channels, and then you can click on each to get to the videos. And normally when you look beside the channel icon, you'll see how many videos is on each, such as 190 on one and 449 on the other and 149 on the other. Each of them have at least 100 videos on, I do believe. Most of them close to 200, and the most, as of today, the 20th of November, I think it's like 449 videos on my first YouTube channel. I think it's interesting. If you look down from that fence, you'll see graffiti in my first YouTube video, which you can't find unless you can find it. Let me know. I did it for a class project at Shaw University, and even though I had the mind to do a YouTube anyway, but I kind of saw it as an opportunity. She kind of was loose with the instructions. She said, pick a spot to do your video. She was kind of like loose with the instructions, so most of the students were like dressed up in school uniforms and on campus, which I thought was a little bit raggedy because I thought it was cheap. I'm like, campus is so small, it's not really showing the immensity of beauty that lies within, let's just say, at least our city. So I said I want to go off campus and do something great. So I actually found myself underneath the bridge, but I'm gonna show you really quick. But these guys skateboarding. So the graffiti that was there, I did not do it, but it was very commercial in nature, almost like it was done professionally. It was really big art piece, and so I did that as my backdrop. And because it was just, I had always, growing up in that town, I had always wanted to know what was underneath that bridge anyway, just as a curious boy. So that time I got to go see. This one, I like this piece right here because it's, if you look closely, it says, has the arrow, it says VA this way, and DC that way. One says HPK. But the one that I talking about, the new bridge, it was a newer bridge. It was cleaner, first concrete, and it's like a big like piece of graffiti. And I'm like in front of it, doing my initial piece on YouTube. I hate that I lost them, as well as my musical works that I did in studio there at Shaw University. Since it was an audio, I had that semester, I had audio as well. Okay, I like this building because in clip 2 or clip 1 of the federal buildings clips on this channel, you'll see the first building that I showed you of the General Services Administration, which manages and likes to manage the federal buildings project and federal real estate. This is another General Services Administration building here. We're here in Washington, D.C. So, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I lost that piece. I don't know where it is. I liked it because I wanted to be a little bit more artistic. I wanted to use my degree to make 100 million a year versus the 30, which is 30, 40, 50. Certainly can comfortably, in certain parts of the United States, comfortably, take care of a person, 30, 40, 50K, but because of my own conceit, I suppose, and I'm like, I want the biggest house, I want to be the biggest star, I want the biggest stage, I want the biggest audience. I'm like, I was thinking more for my degree, so I think maybe, and I could be wrong, my peers could get me together if I am. If someone else had that idea and is bold enough to say it as I just did, then they can correct me if I'm wrong, but that might have led to me trying to go to a more singular solo piece by myself, with a big piece of art in the back. Okay, so this is the little secret I'm about to tell you. So on channels I mentioned how bold I am. I'm in DC, I'm homeless. I'm here in town homeless just to see the town. And so it's crazy because it's cold, it's November. How am I surviving? I got 2 huge comforters. I'm out here camping out. So you wonder, where am I sleeping at night? Where am I staying? So I'm gonna tell you a little secret. This is closed due to asbestos. It's building across from the United States General Service Administration. So right here on this on this alley right here. I mean, on this perch. At least 3 of the nights that I've been here. Tonight's 21, or night 20 or 21. It's closed due to asbestos, so I wouldn't dare and go in. But I have my silver tarp that I got from Walmart. I have the 2 huge comforters. I wrap up in those. Thank God, like when I was in LA last year, it didn't rain out one day. But here in DC, it did rain one night. Thank God, not only was I in my comforters, but I wrapped up in the tarp, which is rain resistant. But anything to see my town. I'm a big proponent of DC. Yeah, DC. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of that. So, I definitely did, just to see the town. You say you can't make it there, but this is the other encouraging point. I don't plan on being camping out for the rest of my life. I do plan on having a creed to at least sympathize, and having been through that for several years, I want a house with like a patio at the smallest, so that maybe every night I might put a cot out and chill out on the cot or something. Okay, so this is the back of the Department of Agriculture building. But if you go to Walmart, you'll see that there, and anywhere you think you're worried, how do people in North Dakota, where it's the coldest in the United States during the winter, at below 0? Well, there are 0 degree, at least there are 0 degree, and I believe below 0 degree sleeping bags. So you can get a sleeping bag that'll heat you up in the 0 degree temperatures to have you warm. Okay, this is again the Department of Agriculture. I've already showed you this building, but here it is. I showed you this building. I actually have a clip or 2 dedicated to this building. And we learned some stuff from the Department of Agriculture on it. So, okay, so I'm going to show you another thing that I said I was going to show you, that the U.S. Department of Engraving and Printing, Printing and Engraving, is where they print money at, right? There it is right there. And across the street. So we're going to cover that. So, the thing about that, and this is the General Service Administration building. The thing about that, again, this is the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The back of it, I showed you the front of it and the other building, one that's on the National Mall, and the video titled United States Department of Agriculture. I think there's 2 or 3 clips to that. But yeah, we learned a little there. See, USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture. All right, you can check them out online. See what they do, all the amazing stuff they do, and ensuring the food that 3.2 million farmers do to feed 300 million people or more, considering the people around the globe that we export to. Okay, so the thing about this is, so I'm like, okay, for the money equation. So based on my research from maybe a year or 2 back from this company, and I use the collegiate website, if not their website directly, the printing and engraving website, Bureau of Engraving and Printing. So again, this is U.S. General Services Administration. The thing that central heating plant. The thing about the money thing, which you're about to move to now, these guys do real estate and more. Check them out online. But the thing about this, so with the Department of the Bureau of Engraving, the Department of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, right? So that prints our money here in the United States dollar bills. In which, if you go to their website, you can find out how the dye techniques and how they actually make the money. But the thing about this is, so based on my research, General Services Administration again. Department of Agriculture here in Washington, D.C. So, based on my research, 95% of the money that is printed from this agency, and there is another location somewhere else in the United States, at least one. This is one of the facilities that prints money, this department, and I'll show you the other building as well. But there's another one too. Okay, so according to my research, 95% of the money that is printed replaces old money, tattered, torn, worn money. So if there's somebody has $1 million in the bank, or the money that we spend every day, it goes to the bank, we spend it at the bank, we spend it at stores, we spend it at different places that a lot of them, most of them have bank accounts, so they put it in the bank, and the bank gives it to the money people that puts it in the trash, accounts for it and puts it in the trash, and then this prints out new money. I don't care if it's somebody doing a $100 million transaction. That money is going from someone. It's old money. It's going from someone that had the 100 million to the person that they give it to. The 100 million is it's going to be trashed when it's worn out and torn. So that $100 million is replaced here by the 100 million, or $1 trillion is replaced here by the Bureau. So what's interesting about that is that the other 5% is new money that is put into circulation. So he said that's not a lot of new money that's in circulation, right? Well, it's not, but if you think about it, if we have to figure out their equation, it's not the easiest. It's an advanced equation, perhaps. Okay, so if they're printing $1 trillion every year, now 5% of $1 trillion is $50 billion. So it's $50 billion $50 billion is new money in the market every year, right? And you said that's not a lot, but again, I kind of gave you it ahead of time. You say, well, that's not a lot of money because we have all these billionaires and trillionaires and these people that's making a lot of money. Well, all of that's old money that is just being replaced. That's not accounted for. That's the 95% that's already accounted for. If, like I said, if you have a company that brought in $1 trillion or $550 billion, where the money came from, okay, they got it from building. There was a general contractor, and he built hospitals and colleges and a whole city. And the people that the money came from, whether there was new owners or financing companies, well, it came from their bank account. So it was already money on the market that's old. If it's not old money, it's going to be old money eventually, and that's replaced by new money that's printed here. Once it goes to a bank, goes to the person who is new money to them. The people that receive the general contractor that receives the $550 billion is new to that person, but it's the person that it's come from, it's not new to them, so that will be replaced. So that's part of the 95%, not the 5%. So yeah, this is the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, Social Security office here, at least part of this building. So that's just my guesstimate, my take on that equation. I say, and you can check me out, I'm trying to get at least 100, 200 million, pay my own bills. I could tell you those exact bills and figures, but I'm like, okay, so if I could end homelessness, I have the exact equation on how to end it worldwide. So I need this particular building to print me $1 trillion. You want to see about that? Check me out. My name is Devon. I spelled it for you. Check me out on YouTube. The initials of this great city is what? Washington, D.C. would be WDC. Well, my initials are DCW. It's in a different order. You check my initials twice, DCW, DCW.com. Again, my name is Devon Chadwick White. Type in my initials, DCW twice.com, DCW, DCW.com, DCW, DCW.com. Get my website, and you can check out, in one of my think tank blogs, I talk about how to end homelessness. And in fact, I actually have it. I made about 12 of these. I think I've handed 3 of them out. I mentioned this the other day. I still have $1 in my pocket. I'll drop this for now. So I mentioned this. I handed this out to a few people. I said, you can get it to your politician, your mayor. We can see how to end homelessness. They can check out my think tank entry. I have like 7 more of them. here somewhere. Let's try this one. Okay. See how to end homelessness? It could be ended, bring a new heaven to earth. Check out my think tank website, my think tank entry at dcwdcw.com/think-tank/f/ending-homelessness to get my blog entry on ending homelessness and how that could be done. So if you print $1 trillion for me to do that and my company do that, and you pay me 1% of that trillion, I said 5% of the trillion was what, 50 billion? Pay me 1% as a CEO. I think even if I did a nonprofit, you can pay the CEO gets to earn like what, 1%? I would rather do a for-profit, but I would love to do that to end homelessness. Let's end some bad stuff on earth. And as an option, I said 50 billion is 5% of $1 trillion. So 1% would be 10 billion. Give me $10 billion and then give me the trillion to end homelessness. I talk about how it can be done in this ad. I mentioned on the back, please allow 3 to 5 seconds for the page to load unless your computer is slow. And then on this one and the one that you saw where it was crossed out at, I mentioned, okay, let me get this. I have a few of them that I dropped. I want to put them back in my pocket just in case. There's a few more in my dollar. Okay, so yeah, you can check that out there on my website at dcwdcw.com. Or if you don't want to type in the whole link, just click on the think tank and you will have to go through the over 100 entries. Sorry, that website got a little bit more subjective than my Facebook one, where I had a lot of information. Learn about Facebook and my company's relation to it on other sites. I'm not an enemy of Facebook in relation to others, but in relation to my own company with it, I did have some issues. I'll talk about that in other videos on my channel. I won't go right now. This is the place that prints money. We're in Washington, D.C. I'm done talking. That's what I wanted to show you. So we saw the General Services Administration. We saw the Mandarin Hotel. This is it from a different angle. We're in Washington, D.C. We saw the Department of Treasury, Bureau of Engraving and Printing, Receiving and Shipping entrance. Again, that's the Mandarin Oriental. Throw in an extra million so I can pay back the $60,000 I owe the school system for, I was mentioning, as I'm homeless now, obviously, but I will pay that $70,000 back easily, and then some. I already know the house I want, I already know the cars I want, stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, we're in DC. Treasury Department. It says it right there over the door. You can't see it from here, but I can. And here we have the Bureau of Engraving and Printing again. This side where the visitors entrance is. Right now they are not taking visitors because of COVID. This is the Treasury Department here as well. Shout out to the veterans program that the model for ending homelessness. I want to use established, which you'll see in that entry. Okay, shout out to some other companies. There's Chris Rodriguez Installers. Alright, office systems, furniture, delivery, and installation. Again, this is the Department of Agriculture. Check out Department of Agriculture's videos on my website. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. We're on C Street. I think we started on D Street. We're on C Street right now. We're crossing C Street, rather. You can see. And 14th, which is where the Bureau's address is, 14th Street. There's the visitor's entrance. Or you can cut around there underneath the bridge, bust a left. You see the back of the Mandarin Oriental, but you can't really enter that way unless there's someone downstairs that's gonna open the door, because I don't think that they use that as an entry point, even though there's several doors there. I showed you the front entrance, which is a level up. $4.95. I need to go on a diet. I went to Virginia that way. There's a bird. So maybe my presentation was a little bit better in the prior two clips of my federal buildings clips. I didn't talk as much. I did talk some, but check those out if you want to see some amazing federal buildings here in Washington, D.C. So here's this building, Department of Treasury, Bureau of Engraving and Printing, as is this building across the street, Department of Treasury, Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Speaking of 11/20, today's date, that's the tax form that you, if you start your own company, go to whatever your office, your city or state, the home occupation license, and go to the Secretary of State and do the incorporation or LLC, PLC, or whatever you're want to do for your business if you start one. Well, the form you have to fill out. Unlike if you were working for a company that's doing your taxes for you and giving you your W-2, and you do the 1040. But if you have your own company, you have to fill out the 1120. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum is here. Inside the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. There's the other, across the street, the other agricultural building, the James Whitten building. Also a USDA building. There's 3 of them. There's another. There's one, which extends all the way down to the prior arch. Here's 1, 2, the second building. And here's a third. in Washington, D.C. We're in Washington, D.C. See, the tidal basin comes from the Washington Channel, which connects the Anacostia and the Potomac. Anacostia was 8.7 miles. The Potomac is like 405 miles. Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, D.C. And the Jefferson Memorial. The tidal basin. Jefferson Memorial. There's some great restaurants on Washington Channel down that way. Seafood, crab, and fish. I smell it. This coming from one. So, River. Okay, this tree is kind of effed up. How low it is, people have to duck underneath it. Myself. the duck underneath the tree. Yes.